Hello everyone and welcome to my review of IDW's Sonic the Hedgehog Volume 1 Fallout. Now you may be wondering why I'm doing this now, considering all these issues came out quite a bit ago. Well, since I'm going to be starting reviewing the newer issues, I just figured I'd go back and review these ones first and give my thoughts on them. So without further ado, I'm going to do that. So let's start out with the issue number 1. Issue 1 starts out after the events of Sonic Forces, a really underrated game, and Sonic is finding a town under siege by egg pawns. Interestingly enough, the egg pawns in this comic, are not designed like the ones in Forces. They're designed like the classic egg pawns, which is a shame because I like the design of the ones in Forces. But what you gonna do? So he fights off the egg pawns, but when his back is against the wall, a certain two-tailed fox comes to help him out. And they defeat the robots using their team-up attack from Sonic 4. No, seriously, they do. So with them driven away, Sonic talks about how the attacks have become more organized, and they wonder if Eggman is coming back. So Sonic and Tails discuss that for a while, and then Sonic talks about how he has to run off and fight more egg pawns, more cities. And they have a really touching moment where Tails tells him to be careful because he remembers how he got hurt in Sonic Forces. And I thought that was a really good character moment for Tails. It was a really real moment, showing how someone would be affected by a traumatizing event like that, unlike what we got in Sonic Forces.
Sonic, help me!
Yeah. So Sonic runs off, and then we see a mysterious character who's been manipulating events from behind the scenes. It's Metal Sonic. It's clearly Metal Sonic. There's no reason they're hiding it. It's so obviously Metal Sonic. So this character whose identity we totally don't know is in this chair, and he orders the egg pawns to intercept Sonic when he goes to the next city where he's going to meet up with Amy Rose. This leads into issue number 2. So issue 2 starts with Sonic heading towards the city, where he meets up with Amy Rose, unintentionally, because, as most Sonic fans know, he usually tries to avoid her. He meets up with her, and they get into a discussion about him rejoining the Resistance. He doesn't want to do that because he believes it will tie him down and keep him from being, able to be more effective, be able to travel more. So then egg pawns storm the city they're in, and they're defending it. There's some nice banter between them while they're doing that, where she's like, whatever, I respect your decision for not wanting to come back to the Resistance. But, yeah, so overall, good issue. I like the characterization for Amy. I've always preferred it when they give her other character traits besides just being obsessed with Sonic. And so, yeah, that was another good issue. Another uneventful issue, granted, but that's going to be a pattern for these first 4 issues, I assure you. So, yeah, well, and that leads into issue number 3, where Sonic will team up with Knuckles. So, issue number 3 starts, once again, with Sonic coming across the town, and, sees Knuckles has already beaten the major robot that they were going to be fighting. So they engage in a discussion, and Knuckles mentions how this town is the major distribution for the Wispins from Sonic Forces, but that it's dried up, and he's come to investigate. Also, Knuckles mentions an interesting thing there that's a bit questionable. He talks about how, well, first of all, I like how they talked about how he's really bored by, now that the war's over, it's just, rebuilding and stuff, and that's not what he's into. But he says that he wants to get back to Angel Island. So, my question is there anyone guarding the Master Emerald? That's always the thing we, get on Knuckles about, oh, hey, Knuckles, you're out here with Sonic, who's guarding the Master Emerald? But who's guarding the Master Emerald? I don't know, that was just something that got me, but, so they break into the city, and, they meet these scared people, and we find out these people are getting, pushed around by 2 new villains named Rough and Tumble, who rhyme for some reason. I don't know, the villains certainly weren't the best part of the issue. But my personal favorite part of the issue was when they talk about the Wispins, because I don't think the Wispins were even mentioned in Forces. I remember, he says, here, kid, take this, but he doesn't specify what this is. Yeah, he talks about how the Wisps were held in capsules and awaited deployment, and how they were completely willing. It's not horrible and inhumane that they're using them as weapons, even though it was horrible and inhumane when Eggman was using them as weapons. It's not a double standard. Um, so yeah, they get into a fight with Rough and Tumble. They beat them up, of course, because they're Sonic and Knuckles. What Rough and Tumble gonna do? And then Sonic like manipulates the Wisps into fighting for him, and then they win. And then the guy in the chair, who's definitely not Metal Sonic, makes the point that I just made about how, oh, Knuckles is here. I should probably go see if I can get that Master Emerald. But yeah, so yeah, issue 3, probably my favorite issue. Honestly, I like the characterization with Sonic's banter with Knuckles. That's always fun. I liked how they mentioned the Wisps, and because personally I'm an adventure fan, I don't much care for the Wisps, but I like the fact that they added a bit more lore to it. Explained how they were there in Forces when Forces didn't even do that. And yeah, overall, pretty solid issue, I'd say. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get on to issue number 4. So, issue number 4. This one is drawn by Evan Stanley. I only mention that because if you haven't read her webcomic, Ghost of the Future, do it. It's really good. Yeah, so issue 4 starts off with Sonic once again visiting a city under siege by egg pawns. But these egg pawns are already being fought off by a new character named Tangle the Lemur. Yes, after months of hype and anticipation, we finally meet Tangle, and she's pretty cool. Not bad. I like how she's kind of portrayed as like a fangirl of the Sonic characters. When Blaze shows up, Blaze is in this issue as well. She is really excited when she sees Sonic and Blaze fight. She's also a bit confused. I like Sonic's explanation of the Soul Emeralds. He literally says, they're like Chaos Emeralds, but fiery. So they fight off the egg pawns, and they win, obviously. And Sonic runs off, but there's a twist. Because we see, spoilers, I guess, that Dr. Eggman is very much alive and hiding out in this little town. And more on that in issue 5. So, final thoughts on this first arc. It was good, I liked it. If I had a grievance, I would say that not much happens. Like, these 4 first issues pretty much just serve to get us introduced to this world, get us acquainted with, this world after Forces, we see what the characters have been doing. And, I'm okay with that, because, we need that to propel us into the future, more story-focused, more, heavy issues. So I'm okay with it. It's just, it was a bit of a slog to get through at some parts. But overall, I enjoyed it. If I was going to give it a score, I'd say for what it was, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It was a good, solid first arc. And it made me excited to see what the future is. And I will be doing a review on that future momentarily, in fact, right after this video. So, look out on my channel for that. The reviews of issues 5 and 6 will be up right after this, and you will see my thoughts on that future. So, stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.